replacement models, it is classified into two types. Type 1 is replacement of items that deteriorate with time. It's a deterministic model where we'll be looking into the value of money, which changes with time and it does not changes with time, right? So there are two concepts associated with replacement of items which deteriorate with time, right? The next is replacement of items that fail suddenly. This is kind of a probabilistic method when which we cannot predict what point a particular item fails, but in order to have a replacement strategy for items that fire suddenly, we have this model type 2, right? So in this lecture, we'll be focusing on all four types. Like type 1 have two subtypes, type 1A and 1B, which is value of money change does not change with time and with changes with time, right? So we also have got type 2 problem, which is also subdivided into two, which is the individual replacement and group replacement. Sometimes it is also known as individual replacement policy and group replacement policy, right? So something that changes suddenly or something that fails suddenly, we need to find a procedure to formulate the replacement strategy or policy in fact, right? So that's what we're gonna do, right? So we'll be doing all these four types today. So kindly pay attention. The first type is the item that deteriorate with time, which is a deterministic model, and 1A versus the items that deteriorate with time, but the value of the money remains the same. Say there isn't any concepts called time value of money for this particular problem, so we ignore that. In fact, to give a quick example, like down the 5 years of time also, the money, the monetary value of the particular equipment and also the maintenance cost remains the same. So it does not changes with the interest rate or something like that. So that's what basically type 1A problem is all about, right? So let's take a look at the type 1A. Let's dive in the problem. This is type 1A, replacement of items in a situation where the value of money does not change with time. A firm is considering replacement of a machine whose cost, the initial cost is 12,200 and the scrap value, which is 200, which means at the end of certain period of time, the actual worth of the machine is only this much. So that's what scrap value. So initial value is the purchase value or the original cost of the equipment at year zero or at that point, instantaneous point. At some years of time, the machine gets wear and tear, and it just scrap value something like the worn out value or something like the machine gets depreciated to a greater extent. So this is the final value of the machine. Right. So the running cost or operating cost are given in the following table. Right. Say year 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. And this is the operating cost. So this is an additional amount pumped in so that to protect the machinery or something like that, right? So that's basically the operating cost or running cost, or it is also known as maintenance cost or usage cost, or sometimes it's known as commissioning cost also. Right? So these are the different terminologies you should know. So in this problem, it is given as running or operating cost, but it is also known as maintenance cost, usage cost, then commissioning cost. All these things have the same meaning, and we just calculate the total value of this. This comes under 14,200. So total number of years is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 years. The total amount it incurred, the amount incurred for the operation or running the equipment is 14,200. So this is one thing, right? So from the problem, given initial cost is 12,200, and the scrap value, the user values are S suffix C, which is equals to 200. Right. Now we need to find procedure when which at what point or which year it is optimal to replace this particular equipment given the initial cost and scrap value and the operating cost. Right. So this is the table. This is very simple, straightforward problem. It does not have any other thing. Like given up, understand this problem and you jot down this tabular column and you'll be able to solve this in no time. Right. Say this is year. The year given is 2011 and 2018. So Y is the year. We just say Y. y, small y. So we cannot directly use 2011, 2013 as a factor, but we can convert that or codify that year to this. This is typical, or you can even call this to be y star or something. Differentiate y and y star. So that is very important factor for the final calculation. That's why we don't have 2011. So if we divide this by 2011, that will not give you a great value, right? So we codify this year, the number of year into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So n equals to 8, which is the nth year. So this is the 0th year, first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, sixth and seventh year. So n equals to 8, right? Or you can even take this year 1 or something at the end of the year or something, right? So next is cost, which is given, operating cost or the running cost, which is given. So convert this the row into column. So this is it. Then you'll be finding out the cumulative cost. So cumulative cost is C of f of t. Do not think that C is initial cost multiplied by f of t. So cumulative cost, you can even put Cu f of t. So differentiate. So Cu cumulative cost, which is nothing but 200. It's given here, and this is 500. 500 plus 200 is 700. So I just hard. So this, and from 200 plus 500 is 700, and so on, right? And finally, one quick check is that the final cumulative cost is 14,200, and this should match the sum of all the operating costs. So this is very important. This is just like check, so that if you could get both values same, it's fine. So your cumulative cost is fine. Then the depreciation. So for this particular problem, there are different types of depreciation methods available, like sinking fund method, constant declining method, or double declining method. But we generally take a simplified approach. We just take a straight line depreciation. The straight line depreciation, which is the initial cost minus the scrap value, right? So the depreciation is that initial cost minus the scrap value, which is 12,200 minus 200 will give 12,000, and that is, we assume that it is constant throughout the year, throughout the life cycle of the, life period of the machine, right? So 12,200 minus 200, which is the original cost minus the scrap value, is considered to be the constant depreciation throughout the life of the machine, right? Something like that, right? So this is 12,000. Then total cost, this cumulative cost plus the depreciation cost. So this is nothing but cumulative cost plus the depreciation. 200 plus 12,000 is 12,200, right? Then 12,000 plus 700 is 12,700, and 12,000 plus 1,500 is 13,500, and so on. And finally, we'll have the total cost, right? So total cost, I can even call this TA. So total cost divided by, okay, it's not TA, it's TC or something. TC divided by Y star, codified Y in terms of year, first year, second year, third year, right? So this value divided by this value will be the average cost, right? So the average cost incurred, which is the average cost per year incurred, considering the depreciation as well as the operation cost, is this thing. So TA is the average cost equals to TC, which is total cost divided by year, which is a codified year, Y equals to 1 or something. So 12,200 divided by 1 is 12,200, and 12,700 divided by 2 is 6,350, and 13,500 divided by 3 gives us 4,500, and 14,700 divided by 4 gives 3,600. So the value gets computed, but if you see one point, there is a lesser average cost. So with a lesser average cost, it is 3,167. And after that, the cost gets increased like 3,171 and 3,275, right? So the point at which it dips, I can even that particular year. So you replace it on the sixth year, 2016, and which incur average cost of little less. So the usefulness of the machine gets depreciated. This is equilibrium, so that when you sell that, you will be profitable, right? So when you replace it, you will be profitable. But if you try to replace it in the second year, it's pretty heavy, and also in seventh year, it's heavier than the least, something like that. So this is typically the replacement policy. Okay. Repeat. So we give an operating cost, then we just accumulate the operating cost. Then we'll find depreciation. Depreciation minus the scrap value. Depreciation is the initial cost minus the scrap value. Then cumulative cost plus the depreciation is the total cost. And total cost divided by the year is the average cost. And when we take a look at this, a point at which it is dipped minimum, then it start rising, or it is in the form of U shape. The bottom region, the global minimum, is what the effective replacement, or you replace it at that point, your average cost is less, so you don't incur much cost during the replacement process. Simple as that. Right. So the next is the another problem. I'll read out the problem. Zoom a little bit. So a textile mill, which is established in the year 2000, which manufactures handkerchiefs. So a place in Tamil Nadu called Tirupur. It's a very famous place. They also called Manchester of India or South India, where they manufacture all the textile products and something like that. So they manufacture a lot of handkerchiefs, quality handkerchiefs. The operation they use is power loom. Earlier, the concept of handloom, where non-mechanized machines gets used, only the weavers gets weaver as the person who weave the textile or knit the textile with the handloom. So he gets it done, but in a power loom, you can power loom is a mechanized thing, where you can get a lot of textiles or something like that, right? So they manufacture this thing, but the cost of the power loom is like 2 lakh rupees. Right? Initially, the first year, the operating cost is 1,000. Like first year, the operating cost is 1,000. Then it is increased additionally 1,500 rupees every year, right? Say the initial cost is given as 1,000, then it gets increased in incremental of 1,500. Then it says determine the best year to replace the power loom machine, right? So they can ask us to replace the power loom machine at what point of time in the operation, at something like that. And also determine the average cost of operating machine at the year of replacement. So this is pretty simple, because we will be finding out average cost. Based on that only we'll decide the replacement. But this is an additional concept. Right? The year and average cost is the fundamental concept to determine which year a machine gets replaced optimally. Something like that. So given C is 2 lakhs rupees, the initial cost is 2 lakh rupees. And here there isn't any, description about the scrap value. So what happens after a certain period, the value of the machine. But then we just suddenly take the scrap value to be 0, right? So since it's not given, so we'll assume that to be 0, right? So now I'll zoom. Right. So year one, it starts at 2000, and then it runs through some like 2020, or even you can do it one more since we are in 2011. This is 22, and so on. I stopped with 2011. Right. Right. So this is initial year is 1,000 as mentioned in the question. Then it says like every year it will be an addition of 1,500. So 1,000 plus 1,500 is 2,500. And then third year it is 2,500 plus 1,500 is 4,000, and so on. So we can even put it in the 2021, which is 3,100 plus 1,500. The next will be the cumulative cost, which is nothing but 1,000 is given here. then 1000 plus 2500 is 3500, and 3500 plus 4000 is 7500, and so on. And the cumulative value will be this, this, this. Yeah, so this is the cumulative value. And the scrap value, since SC is 0, the scrap value is 0. Suffix C is equals to 0. So C minus SC is the depreciation, right? So we take constant depreciation, and this also remains the same, so constant depreciation. Then total cost is nothing but this cumulative cost. Mentioned, we differentiate initial cost and the cumulative cost plus the depreciation. Let's say the cumulative cost, this is one, plus the depreciation. So that will be this, right? Then TA, which is nothing but average cost, which is the T value, which is TC or T doesn't matter. Okay, so T divided by Y. So the codified year, which is 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5. Right? So this is something like 2 lakhs divided by 1. 2 lakhs and 1000 divided by 1. So this 2 lakhs and 1000. Then 2 lakhs 3500 divided by 2. This is 1 lakh 1750, and so on. And same way you can see this is getting decreased. Certainly at one point it starts increasing. Like at this point it starts increasing. So the best trick or something like if you do it in Excel, it is just like find out the minimum value. So among the minimum among this particular column, so the minimum value you can take a look, which is nothing but 24750, which is this value. So this is the value which is minimum, then it starts increasing. So that's an indication. Okay, which means that the effective replacement of this particular power loom machine is 16th year, which is nothing but 2015. Right, say based on the given problem. It is I had just mentioned here 16th year. Yeah. 2000, I mean 24,750 is in operating cost, the total average cost, right? So if you replace it at this year, you will be benefited or something like that. So this is typically the problem number 2. So one of the difference between the problem number 1 and problem number 2 is that in problem number 1, the operating cost is given explicitly per year, whereas it is given as some relation like 1000 first year and then additional 1500 next year. So that's the only difference, right? And another difference is that the scrap value is given, whereas here we assume that scrap value is 0 or something like that. But if you assume scrap value some value, or if a scrap value is given in this problem, then the depreciation gets varied, and then you get change. You probably could see, the difference in terms of the average cost. Let's assume if let's say that a scrap value of something like 1000 is given in the problem itself, right? So then this will be uh, 2 lakhs divided by 1000, and then probably you can drag them. Then you can still see that the minimum value, the minimum among this 24688. So this is the value. So which means that the scrap value has not much significance. So our assumption is correct. So even if you take it 0 or you take it some value, so you probably get a good relation, I mean good replacement strategy for this. Right. Next, what we're gonna do is we'll go to problem number 3. So far we have done a single machine problem. Problem number 3 is two machine problem. Right. So I'll just this is two machine problem. Two machine A and B with cost of 50,000 each are available. uh, we don't say two are unique machines, like two are same machine, same type of machines. Let's compare them and see, what is the implications of which year we can replace it, or which machine can be replaced or something out of this two. Right. Right. So the cost of machine A is estimated to be 5,000 for the first year, this operating cost, and increases by 15,000 subsequent years. In machine B, the initial operating cost is 8,000 for the first year, and it gets increased by I think it's 10,000 per year. Which machine has to be replaced? Assume that both machines have no scrap value, right? So it is given very clearly that no machines, both the machines do not have scrap value, right? So this is some year, since it is not mentioned, so we just leave it, we just take codified year itself, like, so machine A, year 1, year 2, year 3 and 4, so on. And it is not mentioned n equals to number of years, so we considered arbitrarily, let's say 15 years. The cost is given, initial is 5,000 for machine A, operating cost. Then the cumulative operating cost is 5,000 here. Then 5,000 plus 15,000 is 20,000. So 5,000 plus 20,000 is 25. 20,000 plus 15 is 35,000 and so on. Do it for 15 years. Then you do a cumulative sum. 20,000 plus 5,000 is 25,000. 35,000 plus 25,000 is 60,000 and so on till you have this particular stuff. Right. Next, we'll talk about depreciation. Since scrap value is not given, depreciation, we'll just take the initial value of the machine itself. Like C is 50,000. It is actually 50,000 minus 0, right? So 50,000. And it is constant throughout. Then total cost, T equals to cumulative cost, which is UF. This one plus this one. So that will be this. And finally, we'll have the average cost. Like this is something like T divided by Y. So this value divided by Y will give us the average cost. Right? Say the value keep on decreasing at one point, it will be increasing. And that point is what our optimal replacement policy. So I'll just put a minimum of this particular thing, which is nothing but 36,667. Right. So our the value, we got it like very from very early itself. Like you see, after third year we get the replacement. But anyway, it is better when the year is not mentioned. You take it to 15 years. So it is be wise. Sometimes there will be somewhere here, or sometimes you may not get it even in 15 years. It's all completely decreasing. Then you might increase the number of years. So see if it is declining and started increasing, something like that. And when it is not at all increasing at any point of declination, then it does not have any value at all. So we'll take a look at that problem also. But this is for machine A. So this is problem 3. We have to do it for machine A and machine B. And machine B, the same process. Initially, we take it for 15 years. Then the initial cost is 8,000. Then subsequent year is 10,000 addition. So we have got this. We find the cumulative cost. Then you find the depreciation, which is the initial cost 50,000 minus scrap value is given as 0. Then this cumulative cost plus the depreciation is the total cost. Plus the depreciation is the total cost. Then total cost divided by the year, which is nothing but the average cost. Right. Then here we need to look into the comparative comparison of both the machines. The machine, yeah, this is the lowest. So 3, 4, 6, 6, 7 is the minimum. So that also falls on third year, right? So that's a tie actually. This is third year. The cost and the average cost is here. And the machine number 2, I mean machine B, it's also falls on third year. The average cost is 3, 4, 6, 6, 7. But we will be replacing machine A. The reason is that the average cost here is pretty high, something like that. To be since the operation cost at this point is pretty high. So that's why in a comparison, we'll be taking out a machine that year's highest average cost. So within the comparison, we just take the highest point or something like that. So this is a typical example. Next, it's pretty much a very important stuff. So far, the scrap value is given, or we assume that it is zero. But in this case, something called resale value, so which is pretty similar to the scrap value. So scrap value is given individually. Say in earlier case, it is just zero, or we will be considering it will be given a scrap value. So what we do is in a depreciation, we'll minus initial cost minus scrap value. But here in this problem, the scrap value is given in terms of the resale value, right? So every year the resale value is given. So that corresponds to the worth of the machine or the scrap value, right? The same process. Like here the year is given 2011 to 20, I think 2020, right? 2011 to 2020 and year 1 to 10, which is the year 10 years are given. Then this is the cost of the operation, 10,000, 13,000, and so on. And this is the cumulative cost, 10,000 will be here, 10,000 plus 13,000 is 23,000, and so on. And this is replacement value here. SC is given, right? Say SC is given, which is nothing but then the depreciation is given as C, which is something, this is 80 lakhs, I guess, operating cost of 345, 80 lakhs worth the truck. And then the resale value is given, which is like 40,000 or scrap value, right, something like that. So depreciation is the original cost minus the scrap value. So this gets depreciated this much amount. Then the process remains the same. Right? You find T, you can even call F plus the depreciation this, then this divided by Y, this value. But in this problem, if you take a look at that, at the 10th year, the value is minimum, right? So when you consider normally, when you take a look at this, like 83,6,500, people generally jump into the conclusion that the 10th year is the optimum replacement of the equipment or something. But this is not true, because we don't have any value after this. Say we don't have what happens in 2021 or something like that, right? So it could be high or low. Let's define that. Say probably this current year. I'll just mention like 2021. This is the 11th year. The cost, say we'll assume these things, like we'll assume this value and this value. So this is an assumption. What can I'll change the color so I'll understand much better. Right. Say it is something like 15,000. Yes, 15,000, and the cumulative cost is this. Then the scrap value will just call this to be 1,500. This is an assumption, right? Say then you can see it starts declining. So it's no more, stuff that increases or something like that, right? So let's take the scrap value is just 500. It's still decreasing. Uh, the operation cost is say just 5,000. It starts declining, but we cannot have something very lesser value of 1,000, 1,000. It's still declining. So we cannot directly jump into a conclusion that this is the minimum. So that's why we say cannot conclude as information provided is incomplete or the average cost does not increases after a dip or minimum value of PE. So that's the kind of an unbounded solution. Yeah, so We cannot directly jump into a conclusion. So some minimum of TA is there, but we're not sure that it can arise or something like that. So this are the deterministic approach, deterministic method, or in a case one or type one problem subdivision one, which is replacement of items in a situation where the value of money does not changes with time. Next is type 1b, which is replacement of items that changes with time. So the replacement of items that changes with time means like we'll have something called time value of money, something like that. So this is time value of money. So I'll read out the problem. A firm is considering replacement of a machine whose cost is 15,000 and has no scrap value. And we just say find the optimum replacement period if the rate of interest is 10% every year and the running cost and the operating cost is given in the following table. So we have got uh, 2012 to 2018, right? So for the problem is pretty similar, except the case that it was given rate of interest of 10, right? Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. N equals to 7. Then the initial cost is given as 15,000. Then the scrap value is 0, no scrap value. I is given as 10%, but we'll generally consider in terms of decimal, which is nothing but 10 divided by 100. Right? So it's the idea. Then very important thing is discounting coefficient, right? So there are two things. One is discounting coefficient and discounting factor. So we'll be considering this is from the concept of time value of money. Probably you'll study this in enough detail in courses like economics and business finance, or production economics, or even managerial economics. You'll be studying that in detail. But understand there's a coefficient called discounting coefficient. It is small v equals to 1 divided by 1 plus I, whereas I is the rate of interest in decimals, right? Say we calculate v equals to, I just put it here, is equals to 1 divided by 1 plus I in terms of decimals. Something like recurring decimals. Like it goes on and on, non-terminating, but we can round up to nearest decimal places and approximate it to decimal places. So bring it to 2 decimal places. Right. Then what we do is kindly pay attention. We only do 2 problems in this for the want of time. So we quickly run through this. So the year is given 2012 and 2018. So N, or you can even call this to be Y. So whichever fine you can consider. In the previous problem, talk about Y or N, doesn't matter. So 2018 equals to N, or N equals to 7, right? Say then FT, which is the cost of the operation, right? So convert that row into column. Then this is discounting factor. This is very important. This is one of the important formula. People generally consider V here, but it is not V, it is V power 1 minus N minus 1. I just repeat. So the formula is V power N minus 1. That's called discounting factor, whereas this is discounting coefficient. So V is a discounting coefficient, and V power N minus 1 is the discounting factor. So in the first case, V is 0.91 power N minus 1. So we know N equals to 7. Probably you can take a look at this. Put N equals to 7. Right. So N equals to 7. So I think this is not n. Actually, this is y minus 1. So corresponding. So 1 minus 1 is 0. So y minus 1. Something like that. So corresponding y, or you can even call yi or something. Small I. I can even call the suffix yi. One second, I'll just pull it on this. I put subscript. Okay. All right, so now you can understand it is yi, which is 1 minus 1 is 0. So v power 0.9 power 0 is 1. Anything power 0 is 1. Then it is v, which is 0.91 power, 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. So can even take this to 2 decimal places. Yeah, something like that. So that's why it is this power 1, which is 2 minus 1 is 1. So it is 0.91 and so on. So we'll be considering this, and this is called discounting factor. We call it DFR. DFR is discounting factor. The reason I didn't put DF is some of the concepts we use DF is degree of freedom. Some people might misunderstand that. So I put DFR, right? Something like that. Then discounting cost, which is nothing but FT into DFR. This one, column 2 multiplied by column 3, which is 2500 multiplied by 1. It is 2500. Something like that. Next, we'll talk about cumulative stuff, something like C, which is the initial cost, plus the sum of this thing, F into DFR, which is nothing but 2500, something like that. So 15,000 plus 2500 is 17,500, right? So once you do this, you get first cumulative sum, then this plus this probably will give this particular value. Say here, this this will give us 20,227 and this thing, and it's same, right? So this is one factor, right? Then sum of DFR is 1 here, uh, cumulative sum, it is E19, then this thing, E20 is this thing. Okay, sorry. All right, so this is the cumulative here. From here plus this will give this, say the cumulative of this thing, or I can not to show here an example. Right. So 2000, not 2000, 2.736 plus 0.75 is 3.486. This is just a round of value. Right. So this is how you calculate the cumulative DFR. Right. So this is typically a very interesting thing that you can really take a look at this. Perfect. Then it is the total average cost is C, which is 15,000 plus this thing FT into DFR. I mean this term like 5. Actually, it's a single term. 5 divided by 6. So this is this divided by 6 and something like that. So since it is time value of money, we just generally round off to the nearest places. But if you could take a minimum value of this is 7,609. So that is the total average cost, and then the corresponding year, it's a fifth year, right? So fifth year, the value was 7,609, and it is optimal time, optimal year to replace the what is this machine, right? Machine, replace the machine at 10%. This is how you calculate, when given a problem in terms of time value of money. Let's take a look at the two machines problem. Okay, let's take a look at the two machines problem. This is also the same. The C value is given. The 50,000. Machine A is 50,000. Both are 50,000. And the operating cost for the first machine A is 5,000 per year, and it is increased by 50. Actually, this is the same problem which we considered early, but in this case, if the rate of interest is 8%, so we'll consider B. Then the problem remains the same. So we'll be calculating this thing, and same way for machine B will be initial value is 8,000, then it is 10,000 incremental. This is the same problem which we did in the previous case, problem number 3, two machines problem. But one thing is we have got rate of interest to be 8%, right? So in both the cases, machine A, third year, they both have the third year will be the point of discussion, but the cost of machine, total average cost of this particular stuff is really heavy. This is 2,000, approximately 2,000 rupees extra. So we replace machine A over machine B. So this is typically the two machines problem in terms of the time value of money. So this is typically an interesting problem, right? But if you could see the I value is common for both emissions. There are some cases where the I value, the rate of interest, gets varied for both emissions as well. So in that case, you need to really calculate B value for machine A differently and B value for machine B differently, and the problem remains the same. The procedure remains the same.